What do Joseph and his brothers in Israel today have in common? Let's see. This week's parasha Vayeshev tells the story of the transformation of Joseph that I believe has many parallels to the situation in Israel today. When we first meet Joseph, he's not exactly a model of humility. He's spoiled, arrogant, and divisive. A child flaunting his father's favoritism with his ornamented tunic and reporting bad things about his brothers to Jacob. But Joseph doesn't stop there. He foolishly or provocatively shares with his brothers his dream of their sheaves bowing down to his. Then, in what seems to be a display of contempt toward not only his brothers but his father as well, he shares his second dream, in which the clear message is that his brothers and parents will all bow down to him. Isn't it any wonder that the brothers had had enough? Well, they certainly went too far in throwing him into a pit and then removing him only to sell him into slavery. We can at least understand the source of their anger and resentment. But here's the fascinating part. When Joseph emerges from the pit and rises in Egypt, something changes. The brash, self-centered youth transforms into a loyal, humble, and morally upright individual. We see this when he responds to the sexual advances of Potiphar's wife. He begins by expressing gratitude to Potiphar for all he has done for him and for putting him in charge of the household. He says he can't even consider perpetrating such a horrible act of betrayal. Furthermore, he acknowledges that adultery is a sin against God. He says, "How can I do this wicked thing and sin before God?" And later, when he reveals himself to his brothers, he doesn't lash out. Instead, he forgives them, telling them it was all a part of God's plan to provide for them during the famine. Thus it seems that now gratitude, respect, loyalty, moral excellence, and fear of God are his defining characteristics. If so, the story of Joseph serves as an example of how tragedy and suffering can help transform relationships characterized by tension, acrimony, and divisiveness to those based on mutual respect, caring, and love. Now let's bring this home. Before October 7th, Israeli society was in a deep pit of its own, a pit of division, mistrust, and acrimony. Political tensions, judicial overhauls, and power struggles pushed us to the brink of civil war. And then tragedy struck. After the devastating attacks, after over 1,100 innocent lives were taken and 250 were kidnapped, we were forced to confront our own fragility. We fought a war we were unprepared for, faced a new front in the north, and saw tens of thousands displaced. But in that pit of despair, something remarkable happened. We came together. Like Joseph, our suffering humbled us, made us more caring, and reminded us of our shared destiny. Unfortunately, however, in recent weeks, old divisions have begun to resurface. And many of us are concerned that this trend may lead us right back to where we were prior to October 7th. The question is, will we allow this to happen? Or will we do everything in our power to ensure that the critical lessons of October 7th will never, under any circumstances, be forgotten? If this message resonates, like this video, share it, and join the conversation below. Shabbat Shalom.